Oh boy, I tell you, beating up on Tennessee fans is becoming one of my favorite holiday traditions now that this game's played in November. Absolutely love it. For the seventh year in a row, Uncle Lou has absolutely destroyed Tennessee, and it was no problem for me to go ahead and do that. Georgia wins. They blow out Tennessee for the umpteenth straight year in a row. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. For you Hilljackers, that's 7 years in a row we've absolutely embarrassed and humiliated you. And Uncle Lou has been on here every single year before the game telling you it was going to happen and after the game, pointing and laughing. It's hard work for me, but somehow I managed to do it year in and year out. Georgia absolutely dismantled you here. Outside of that first play of the game, where you had a 75-yard touchdown run on literally the first play of the game, outside of that, you were never a threat here. Georgia's just way better than you, and that's not changing for the foreseeable future. It's just not. Tennessee fans drooling all over their sandals about Nico. Nico's not going to be that good next year. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know that. He's not. He's not going to give you what Hendon Hooker gave you, for example. I can promise you and guarantee you you'll find this out next year. You're begging for this guy to come in. But y'all got dominated and humiliated. Again, you couldn't do anything. Defensively, you had no answers for anything we did. And then offensively, you just couldn't do anything against that Georgia defense. Ladd McConkey didn't even play today. Could have played if we needed him, but you're Tennessee. Didn't need him. We had walk-ons in the fourth quarter. My cousin Cash Money Jones was running the ball on you in the fourth quarter. Dylan Bell, who's like an eighth string slot receiver, out here having a career day against you, throwing touchdown passes for no particular reason. Just weird. Georgia just beat the ever-loving soul and will to live out of you. And I guess it's good that Dolly Parton was there. I gave y'all something to be excited about. I know how y'all are. I've said enough about Dolly Parton. I guess I don't need to say anything else. But at least she was there. Gave y'all something to be excited about, because once the game started, it was just nothing but the continuous tears that it has been from you for the last 6 or 7 games in a row that this thing has been played. They had Peyton Manning out there too, helping Dolly Parton on and off the field. And I said, this is hilarious. Look, it's the woman in Tennessee with the biggest titties. Is there anybody else that can step on their own nipples, or is it just Dolly? Well, I guess maybe Josh Heupel can too. But and then Peyton Manning with his giant fucking so you got giant fucking titty Dolly Parton and big fucking forehead Peyton Manning. And I'm thinking to myself, given the choice, would the average Tennessee fan rather motorboat Dolly Parton's titties or Peyton Manning's forehead? And I had to think about it, and I still don't know the answer. I think it's probably 50-50. There's probably half of you out there would much prefer to motorboat Peyton Manning's forehead than you would Dolly Parton's saggy-ass pancake titties that are... what do you think it takes to prop those things up at the age of 77? A lot of plastic surgery and some metal rods? I don't know. But anyway, I beat the shit out of the Tennessee fans all week long again, like I normally do. And Georgia showed up and backed it up for me like I knew they would. Georgia, 28 wins in a row. An SEC record. An SEC record. That's right. 28 wins in a row. Is anybody going to beat Georgia? Eventually, somebody will. It's not going to be next week against Georgia Tech, though. It's just not. Georgia will get its, 29th win in a row next week against Georgia Tech. 30th win come against Bama in the SEC title game. Bama's just not that good. They're not. Jalen Milton's not going to be running around scoring a bunch of touchdowns against Georgia. He'll be running around like a chicken with his head cut off, but not scoring a bunch of touchdowns against... was Bama losing to Tennessee at halftime? Holy moly. Jeez. They did beat Ole Miss 24-10. Bama did, so I guess they can't be that bad. Anyway, Georgia wins again. Uncle Lou wins again. On to rivalry week, Thanksgiving week. Great games coming on tonight. No, there was other games on at 3. Clemson's all over North Carolina. 31-20. Iowa and Illinois, fucking 15-13. Jesus. Every week with Iowa. Listen to this. Oregon's up 49-3 over Arizona State. Bo Nix had 6 touchdowns in the first half. There's a lot of hype around Jaden Daniels. Bo Nix might be the one who ends up winning this thing. Bo Nix is putting up some ridiculous numbers. Oklahoma State has come all the way back and taken a lead over Houston. They were losing for a large portion of that game, 36-23. The score in that one now. Let's see. What else? Anything else? That's the top 25 scores. What do we got outside the top 25? Anything of note? UCLA 38-20 up over Southern Cal. We were watching that one. We were watching the Southern Cal UCLA game, and then it was brought to my attention that this was happening. They said, Lou, you're not going to believe the Auburn New Mexico State score. I said, I'm not watching that game, man. It's New Mexico State. They said New Mexico State's putting it on them. I said, no way. No way. So we turned off the Southern Cal game because they're getting donkey stomped. We turned it to the Auburn New Mexico State game. When I turned it there, it was 17-10. New Mexico State was winning. Literally right after I turned it there, they scored again to make it 24-10. They kicked off to Auburn. Auburn properly fumbled. They picked up the fumble, ran it in, 31-10. They have beat Auburn at Auburn, 31-10. Here's my question. Anybody think Alabama's going to beat Auburn that bad? No. No. Bama's not beating Auburn by 3 touchdowns, but New Mexico State did like it wasn't a problem, because it pretty much wasn't a problem for New Mexico State to go ahead and do that. What else? Nothing. Texas Tech and Central Florida tied. Oh no. Hey, I just seen this Florida State score. What in the fuck? What is this? You can't see that. North Alabama, which is basically the Helen Keller School of the Blind, a middle school team. North Alabama 7, Florida State 0. Dang. Too bad it's on the CW network. No one's watching it. 6:38 to go in the first quarter. Florida State does have the ball on their own 30-yard line. 3rd and 7. Pass incomplete to Johnny Wilson. North Alabama is beating Florida State 7-0. And Florida State's getting ready to punt the ball back to them.